Well, welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JB, and I'm excited to be here because I get to talk about humanity. You know, that's my favorite subject, and I love sharing with you ways that you can ignite humanity. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about kids and how to ignite the lives of children. I mean, in fact, we should be thinking about that most importantly because children are going to become our future, and they are going to be the ones who are running the planet. And so instilling in them powerful skills and amazing qualities that they can use to create empathy and compassion and understanding and love for one another, well, that is what is going to make our world a better place as we move forward. And so today's guest is going to talk all about ways to ignite the lives of kids. And I want to share with you that one of our huge mandates and one of the things that's so important to me is igniting the lives of a child. I grew up with my own very unique circumstances, like all of us. But one of the things I really want to say thank you to my parents is that they taught me the idea that anything and everything is possible. If you have a dream and a desire, you can go after it. If you want something, it wants you. And so as children have these beautiful ideas and aspirations for their future, we as parents and society have to foster that and encourage that and give them the skills and tools they need to go after that because they deserve it. In fact, I often say, imagine if every single person on the planet was living in the center of what's possible for them. Imagine how happy people would be. Imagine how confident and going forward people would feel. And imagine if I was living my possibilities and you were living your possibilities and everyone was living their possibilities. We would encourage each other, not pull each other down, not compete and elbow each other to get out of the way so that we could win. We would know that each and every one of us desires and deserves to live in the center of what's possible for us. And more than ever, kids deserve that. They deserved for their minds to be expanded and accentuated with the ideas that come to them. And igniting humanity is all about supporting children. In fact, the number one principle of the 7 principles of igniting humanity is to inspire and foster the consciousness of what is possible. We have to be thinking about what's possible, and those little kids need to be thinking about ways that they can solve the problems of the world and bring us all closer together. And so we're going to be talking about that with our guests. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you to all the people that have reached out and shared and donated to our incredible project. We recently lost a team member to a tragic fire, and we are dedicating our efforts and commitment to building a school in her name. The Danya Safar School of Hope will be built in Pakistan in 2024, and we are raising funds for it right now to honor Danya's life as we lost her just recently, and everyone is reeling from it. But here's the thing. Danya was an incredible individual and wanted to support children, especially because she was an artist and a creative, and we want to honor her with the DanyaSafarMemorial.com. Go to that website and you can donate a little bit to Danya and to the kids. If you want to ignite a life, here's a way to do it, especially in children, by helping us build our schools and being a part of our incredible initiative. And if you want to know what we're up to at Ignite Humanity, go to our website and see everything that we're doing, because we are making big traction in the planet, and we are doing every single thing we can to make sure that humanity is ignited in a way that prospers us all. All right, well, let's get to our guest, because it's going to be a fun and fabulous conversation. Lynn McLaughlin's mission is to inspire adults and children to devote a strong sense of well-being to their lives. Her vision is that children will become self-confident, empathetic, motivated, and self-aware as they develop the abilities to manage their emotions in a positive way that allows them to overcome challenges. She's a best-selling and award-winning author, helping children to learn how to cope with life strategies, understand, manage, and express their emotions. So important. Let's welcome her to the show. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, Lady JB. I am tickled pink to be here.
Pink is the color for sure. You know I love pink, and people have asked me, why do I love pink so much? It's because it's like a color of bliss, and it's a color of expansion, and it's sort of a color of anything is possible. And so today being Wednesday, talking about inspiration, thank you for saying that, because anything and everything is possible. And you really reflect that in your children's books. Talk a little bit about your book series. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, there's a backstory to it, but I will just say that my intention with I'm an educator. I'm not a clinician, but my niece was graduating with her Master of Social Work degree. And I was out for a walk one day and I just went, what? We're doing something wrong. We are accustomed, we are trained to look and wait for symptoms before we do anything about our physical or emotional health. It's just the way the systems work around the world, it seems. And I thought, we have it all backwards. We got it wrong. Sure, we have to have those supports there. But what are we doing for kids before the age of 10 when the world is, as you all know, so much more complex than it ever was before? So I called my niece. I said, you want to write a children's book series with me? I don't think she knew what to say at first, but before the phone call was over, she was in. And that's where it all started. So, her as a clinician and me as an educator, I'm still teaching in post-secondary. It has been 2 years of an amazing ride. And every single book teaches a clinically based strategy that, if you needed therapy at 15, 16, 25 years old, we're actually teaching it in a very fun, fictitious planet and giving kids tools they can use. So basically it's around emotional intelligence, but emotional intelligence is, as you all know, Lady JB, we're teaching emotional vocabulary, but what's more important for us, even, those of us who are in the suck it up buttercup generation, it's more important for us to say, I recognize that this is a feeling of worry or scared or frightened or angry. Why am I feeling this way? But now what am I going to do about it? And that's the premise of the book series and all of the work that I'm doing today. I'm very passionate, very excited about it. And your intro just pumped me up even more.
Well, thank you so much, because I also am very passionate about children and, of course, their intelligence and their emotional stability. I did write my own children's book called Enjoying Parenting. And it was interesting because I went through a gamut of fixing parenting, figuring out parenting, being happy as a parent, and really realized that it's enjoying it. It's the emotion of parenting, and that also reflects the emotion of our kids. And so I love your book series because it's truly one of the tools I talk about is asking your kids, how do you feel? I'd often ask my kids, how was school today? How was your heart today? How do you feel today? Did mommy do anything to hurt your heart? And it was really powerful, that segue and intro, to let kids, my children, say how they felt. It wasn't really about the facts. It was about the feelings. I'm sure your books reflect the same thing.
Oh my goodness. I wish I had met you 25 years ago. But what you've just said to me is you've created a place in your home where your family can talk openly and honestly about feelings, even if they're embarrassment, even if they're, oh my gosh, I can't, even if it was anger. And you made that an okay thing to do. And if we all could do that, as hard as that is, and the hardest thing is for us to look in the mirror and figure out how we're going to do that ourselves first and model the mistakes we make and open up the conversation, it becomes a natural part of our day, and our kids know they can talk about it regardless of how they're feeling. And then we can support and guide each other. I think that's what's one of the most critical things we can do in our homes right now is learn to talk openly about what you just said, your feelings, your heart. I love what you just said about your heart. How does your heart feel? And the question you asked your children, what did mommy do? Wow, that's a tough one, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
And, it was so good because sometimes my kids would tell me really, odd things. Like one time my daughter said, Mommy, I spilled my popcorn at the movie today and you just didn't seem to care. And I was like, wow, who would think of that? And she was like, I was sad and I was embarrassed and you just kept walking. And it just really felt like it didn't matter to you. And so it gave me such an opportunity to say, you know what, you're right. Mommy did do that. And then walk her through the emotion and where I was, and then really validate, because again, it's not about the facts. Yes, the popcorn was spilled at the movie theater, but it really was about her emotions. And I think that what you're doing is so critical because we all need for our emotions to be recognized. Every single one of us needs to be seen and heard and recognized regardless of how we're feeling, and pushing away our feelings. I mean, I write so many books and empower so many people because for years they've suppressed those emotions. Can you share a little bit and give some people some inspiration to how to uncover this emotional intelligence in our children and foster those kind of conversations?
Well, the first thing is really we have to figure out ourselves. So I have 3 children, all in their 20s now, and one of them had what I would describe as very big emotions. Woo, like very big. I mean, maybe not enormous, over the top, that kind of a thing. And I was an educator. I was in supervisory roles. You'd think you'd be able to figure that out, but it's very different when it's in your own home. Very, very different when it's in your own home. And over time, I discovered, and this is the work we have to do as hard as it is. I know I'm a control person. I always knew I was a type A personality, but I was trying to, when she had those blow ups, mommy was flying in to calm the situation, to calm her, to calm the household and move on out. mommy didn't do the things that I know now would have been better. And actually doesn't matter what's happening in the home, because we're all crazy busy. There's 20 things going on at once, is to take that time in that moment as a teachable moment, as a learning moment. And so looking in that mirror, and I had to go back to find out why I'm such a control freak. And it was pretty obvious to me. Basically, I was the oldest of 4 and became, what's the word? Parentified. My father was a musician in a band, lead singer of a band, on the road all of the time. And then that led to a separation and divorce. And from the time I was about 10 years old, I had to step up to be that help for the extra adult at home. And so once I discovered that, and then also learned, and I took counseling and I took meditation, I did all these kinds of things, how to draw the line between how I help my children and how I let them fall and let them get back up and celebrate those failures by allowing them to work through those problem solving processes. But I had to dig deep. So your question is really, we have to look at ourselves in terms of how are we parenting? And what we model, our kids learn. Are we, when your daughter dropped the popcorn, if you were a type of parent that lost it, and we all lose it, self-compassion is there. Lots of things happen in our day. What message do we send our children when we do those things, as opposed to saying, it was an accident. Hey, accidents happen to me. And maybe even drop your own popcorn. Oops, sorry, yeah. I did it too.
There's a popcorn over our shoulder.
Exactly. Just have some fun, Yeah. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did so much. And I think it's interesting because one of the things that I heard as a child was don't feel that way, or don't feel like that, or you don't need to feel like that. And it's interesting because it wasn't said in a way to suppress me, but it was just like, it's because you said it, how the parent deals with the emotion is how it's reflected on the child. And so, I grew up with parents who said, you don't need to feel that way. Don't feel that way. You shouldn't feel that way. Look at this or do this or do this. But the underlining message was don't feel that way. And that was really ingrained in me, is to not feel that way. And it took years, as you said, to just really uncover, what does it mean to feel? And why are we so afraid of our emotions? And why don't we dip more into our emotions? Because let's parlay that into igniting humanity. We have to feel about other people. We have to feel people to have compassion and understanding for them. And I think too much of the unfeeling is what makes us realize, like, oh, those people are hurting. Oh, there's a war over there. Oh, there's a flood over there. Oh, they're having a fire. Oh, well, I'm just going to go on with my life because I'm not feeling anything.
Yeah, I want to just take a step back and jump into that. And I think when I think about my mom's generation, as we're reflecting on her parents, they also felt they were protecting us by not sharing their fear, their embarrassment, their anger. That was the protection. And my mom, from the day she passed, was protecting us with cancer. She wouldn't talk about it. No, I don't want to put that on you. So I think that was part of that. And, when I was a kid, yeah, we were happy, we were sad, with these basic emotions. But I love the way my niece, who's a social worker, describes it as, our kids are in a fuse box right now, because the things that you just described that are happening around the world are in our faces every single day because of social media. And they should be. We need to know about that. And once we learn our part in this, and saying, what can I do to help? What can I do to support? What can I do to help people share their voices so we can connect in a different way? But what does that do for a 5 or 6 or 7 or 8-year-old? So I also ask the question of, can we be aware? Can we be conscious? And we talk about conscious decisions about what we are bringing into our homes in terms of, what are we saying on our phones? What are we allowing to play? What are we responding to? So it's really, really complex, but it comes down to what you just said, talking about feelings, making emotions and feelings part of your regular day, and accepting that we're all human and we all make mistakes. And what kind of a message does that send to your child? If you come home from work and have a blow up and you just like, oh, I'm so sorry, I need to take 15 minutes. I'm going to go for a walk. And when you come back, you apologize. You are human. Your child sees you as human. You're not a perfect. You're flawed, like we all are. And it's hard to show our vulnerability in front of our kids, because we're supposed to be the end all be all, right?
Right. And it's really important, that apology or that recognition, like, hey, you know what? I let my emotions run away. I've said to my kids so many times, you know what? I'm human. I'm just having this human experience. I'm totally going to make mistakes. I'm totally going to mess it up. And it allows, most importantly, our children to see that we recognize that we are not perfect, and they don't have to model perfection, and that they can too have moments of meandering through this human experience
Yeah.
on an emotional level. I love what you said about having a child with big emotions. I have a child too with big emotions. And, I've always actually talked about the importance of self soothing and self care and self understanding. When you have a really big emotion, you don't need to go to something else, get on the phone, go to the fridge, da 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 da, to help soothe those emotions. There's a lot of the things that we can do to calm our own emotions. And as if you teach it as a child, that so benefits them as adults. Obviously, people having road rage and doing all kinds of things and reacting, if you're teaching people to self-regulate and self-understand, that is so empowering. And I also feel will ignite humanity.
Yeah, and I'll use the words responsive, reactive, right? As opposed
Mhm.
to consciously making decisions. I tell a little story about being on a road trip with my husband, emotion, being aware of what we bring into the room, right? And long story short, we were towing an empty trailer. It doesn't even matter why. And we were coming into Boston. We were taking a long way back to Southern Ontario. And the trailer started shaking and there was a big rainstorm. And I asked him to slow down and he just turned up the radio.
Mm.
You know, long story short, I got to the point where wait a minute, my husband is a police officer. He's driven in all kinds of things. Chill out, Lynn, because I was the one who was raising the tension in the car. I took out a Sudoku puzzle. I looked down and I didn't look up again. And I realized my nervousness, because of what I was feeling, was raising that. And my nervousness could have been the reason we got in a car accident until I realized it and chose to do something and deflect. So it's about proactive, being aware. And if we can teach and model those things for our kids when they're young, that to me it's a game changer. It really,
Yeah.
it's not the only solution, but it's a game changer. We have to learn them ourselves first.
Now, this is such a powerful conversation. I know that folks are going to want to know more, but I want to get into a little bit of the before, the Lynn, the why. What was the ignite moment? What was the inspiration and the impetus for you to decide that this was going to be one of the ways that you were going to make a big impact?
There's so many moments, right? If we can be aware again of them. And so long story short, I had surpassed my career goals. I was a superintendent of education in a board of 34,000 students. Great, awesome. But over about a year and a half time, I was starting to have these really odd symptoms that I just ignored. My kids were teenagers. I got it from an MRI machine, was sent right to emergency, and I had a brain tumor that had shifted my brain 1 centimeter over because of the edema. So what happened in that moment was, why we talk about that moment, because that was a moment that's ingrained in your mind forever. I'm fine. It was non-cancerous. My craniotomy was successful. I'm actually celebrating 10 years this summer coming up. Yeah.
Not very many people can say my craniotomy was successful. That's a rare line, and people bravo.
We celebrate craniversaries in the brain tumor world. We do. And very aware, I'm very supportive of the research and things that are happening now. But over that 9 months of time, you always start with, why me? What did I do wrong? What's the lesson I need to learn here? It really took me back to, I was on a treadmill that was ridiculous. Like I was falling off in some way, shape, or form, and the universe took over and said, we're stopping you now. And I took that time to say, what's this all about? And really start to reflect on my purpose. I loved teaching. But again, what we were doing was responsive, growing levels of anxiousness in our schools. How do we respond? How do we put in resources? And it was the day I was out for a walk with my niece after my daughter had really suffered some challenging times as an adult because of things that had happened in her childhood. That ignite moment really for me was that walk when I called my niece and said, what are you going to help me do with this? And it spiraled from there. Now we're talking to parents and communities and spreading the word. And, if one person is listening today to this, and I'm in awe of what you've been able to do since last January, Lady JB, but if one person changes the way they're thinking about their own emotional well-being and their well-being of their families, that is my ignite moment every single time. It's amazing. It's invigorating. It's passionate. I could dance around the room when I hear from people who say, thank you. It's made a difference to us and our children.
I'm with you because, people wonder, like, why do you do what you do? Why do you do what you do? And we do it because we know that something we say, something that we're doing, something that we're modeling is going to reach a person, and that is going to flick a switch in their life that is going to make a massive difference in their trajectory and what they're doing and where they're headed. And that is such a beautiful feeling. I'm the same, dance around the room, because if I know one person watching this episode can decide or make a choice to speak to their children differently or to allow their child to express their emotions in a new and unique way, that child's lives will absolutely be changed fundamentally. And that child can go out and ignite the world. And so, folks, if you watch the show and you're like, I can't do it, or it's too much for me, I just want to impress upon you, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And if you can't do it for yourself, I don't know, Lynn, if you agree with me, do it for your children. Do
Yeah.
it for the children who are watching you. Do it for your grandchildren. Do it for the kids that are in your lives. How can people find out more about what you're doing and your incredible books? Tell us a little bit about that.
Everything is on the website. I would check it out. I would just love to jump in with one little thing about what you said. Sometimes it's baby steps. A lot of the time, actually, most of the time, it's a baby step. So allow ourselves self-compassion. Pick one baby step. Maybe the baby step for you is in the morning before you're heading off to work or doing whatever you do in your day. You're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to have a fun conversation or activity with those kids before they're off for their day. Maybe that's the first thing that you do. Baby steps, and they lead to even more. And in no time at all, you will look in the mirror and go, wow, look how far we've come.
Yeah, I'm going to parlay onto that. I used to do something with my kids every morning. I would say, what's going to make you happy today? And I would ask them to think about it, because one of the things also with children is they're so used to being programmed. They're so used to being, go here, walk in this line, do this, open up this book, read this, look on this TV screen. And so every morning I would ask my kids, what's going to make you happy today? And I would watch their little minds working, and they would say all kinds of things. It's going to make me happy today, get an A on my test. It's going to make me happy today to play with Gabrielle on the playground. It's going to make me happy today to score a goal at the game. And as a parent, when I knew that was what was going to make them happy, I was able to do my own work to make sure that I could help him so he scored a goal. So that make sure, hey, how was your day with Gabrielle on the playground today? So that I acknowledge what made them happy. But most importantly, folks who are listening, you want to teach your children that they have the power to make themselves happy, that they have the skills and they have the ability and the resources to create happiness in their life. And then, of course, as parents, we would do the same. Well, what's going to make me happy today? And the most important thing in that whole exercise is to make sure that you set aside the time and put the resources to doing that. If it's going to make you happy to sit and read your book before bedtime, do that. If it's going to make you happy to do meditating, do that. Like, really commit to it. And show your kids that you do what makes you happy, so they feel permission to do what makes them happy. A little bit on my soapbox, Lynn. Thank you. But you just
love it. I'm right there with you. Give me your mic. I'm right there with you.
I so appreciate it. Well, one of the things that we talk about, principle number 1, is raise the consciousness of what's possible. Tell us a little bit about what you're making possible and how you feel that you can just leave the audience with that great feeling of anything and everything is possible for them.
Wow. Okay. Big
big question, right? Big bomb.
Anything is possible, but it goes back to conscious choices. Mm-hmm. If you want to get up and go out that door and dread every single day what you're walking out to, you continue doing that, and you're not bringing any happiness to you, yourself, or the people around you and your love. You're probably bringing the opposite to them. So I love what you said earlier. If you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for the people in your life. Do it for the people you love. Do it for someone on the other side of the world that you've learned about, that you want to contribute. Do it for the school. Do it, that baby step. And you know what you put out there brings back. If you help other people, wow, it just fuels your soul. It moves you forward. And take baby steps. So I'm going around outside of the family home into the world, but it's about, we could go on about gratitude and forgiveness and all of those kinds of things, but make a choice for you that's going to take you one step into the direction that you want to go.
I love it. You are amazing. I want to say thank you. Thank you for contributing to the Danya Safar School of Hope. I want to say thank you for that, for your gifts. And also, I just want everybody to know that they can find you at the link below. And also, we are so proud that we are going to be featuring Lynn's books in the Legacy Library. So you'll be able to have access to those. And the great thing is the Legacy Library actually gives schools in third world countries and impoverished situations to get free access to books. And Lynn is donating some of her books for that. And we just think that's amazing. And we love you for it. Thank you.
And we're happy to talk about translations too. Absolutely. Very much needed.
Yes.
Yes. We need to publish it in different languages. No question.
Do we ever? All right, gorgeous. Thank you so much for teaching us all so many beautiful things. Blessings and blessings to you. Take care.
My honor, my pleasure. Thank you.
You know, as you can see, conversations like that get so inspired because we have the ability just through our emotions to create a ripple effect around the globe. Your emotions and you being in charge of them mirror and be examples for our children and for the people around us. And so check out what Lynn's up to and really invest in making sure your children have the ability to express their emotions in a way that empowers them and inspires them and gives them the possibilities that they need. This was a great episode. So please, if you want to watch it again, go and check it out on our platform. We have an amazing opportunity for you to watch all these episodes at ignitehumanity.life/watch. We make all of our episodes 100% free. We don't retarget you. We don't come back and ask you to do anything. We just want you to watch them and see if something that we say resonates with you in a way that allows you to start shifting your life. And our hope is that the different episodes that we have in the areas of wealth and finance and spirituality and health and wellness and parenting all touch different areas of your life and ignite you in different ways. It's just not one ignite, it's multiple ignites, and you can be ignited in so many ways that goes out and ignites others. Now, we also are absolutely making schools around the world to help ignite the lives of children. So if you would like to help with any of our school projects, you can go to ignitehumanity.life/donate. Every single one of the dollars that you donate goes towards buying a brick, and not just regular brick, an eco-conscious friendly brick made out of the plastics in the landfills in that country that they take out of the landfills and turn them into these incredible bricks that are flood-proof and earthquake-proof and help us build schools faster, quicker, and safer for children. And so please know that every dollar you donate goes towards buying a brick to build a school. And last but not least, if you have a great story like Lynn and you're doing something exceptional, we want to know about it because we want to share your message with others. Go to ignitehumanity.life/share and tell us what you're up to so that we can have you on the show. This is a platform where you get to speak and share with people your passion and your desire and your opportunity to help others. This isn't a show about selling anything. This is about you speaking from the heart, and the heart is what communicates with one another. So we want you to be a part of that. Well, if there's anything I can do to help you, go check out what I'm doing. Go to my website and see what I'm up to. Go to ignitehumanity.life. You can reach me there and you can see all the stuff that we're up to. In fact, we're even doing a book that we are asking authors to share their Ignite moments in our book. And you can see that at ignitehumanity.life. And of course, one last thing, go to the Legacy Library and check out Lynn's book and all the other books that we have there, including our own Ignite Humanity magazine. Go to ignitehumanity.life/library and see our incredible Ignite Humanity magazine with videos attached inside the digital magazine for you to watch these episodes. All right, fun is in the air. Go out and show some beautiful, loving emotions to your kids or to the children around you. Bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.